Good morning. So we are in the last day of the year and we are now beginning a new chapter. And this chapter is the first story of God. That means in the appearance wise, after the coming of Manu, there is something that happens and all the story has to move ahead. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Part 1, and this is chapter 13. It is called the appearance of Lord Varaha. Now, today's lesson is about how knowledge gets transmitted from God to Guru to devotee and so on. This is like a transmission of knowledge. Why is this transmission important? What is the role of a devotee? How a devotee should be? Those things we are going to tackle in today's session. But we are beginning this chapter which is called the appearance of Lord Varaha. Without understanding what kind of a disciple a person should be, or what kind of a devotee a person should be, one should not proceed, because then the story is not going to be known to anybody. You will just hear words. What it means is you will only hear some words being said. If you go to, let us say, a temple and you see one Panditji doing puja, do you even know what he is talking about? He himself doesn't know. Plus, the person who is listening to it also doesn't even know what he is talking about. So here the knowledge has to seep in. And how the knowledge seeps in is what we are going to learn today. So let us start with this new chapter. So we are doing, sorry. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Part 1. This is chapter 13, the appearance of Lord Varaha. Sri Sukdev said, O king, after hearing all these most virtuous topics from sage Maitreya, Vidura inquired further on the topic of Sri Krishna, which he adored to hear. Now, I will give a recap of what this is being all, where we are currently. Let us look at it from this perspective that Sri Krishna was dying, and before that he met Maitreya Muni. Later on he met Uddhava. So to Maitreya Muni, he has given him a lot of knowledge and information which he needs to pass on further to Vidura, who was going to come and meet him in the future. So this was the story. Uddhava goes away and takes his samadhi somewhere in the north later on. And on this side, we have Maitreya Muni's ashram on the banks of the Yamuna, where Vidura arrives, and Vidura has been asking him various questions about various things from Sri Krishna's time onwards, backwards in time to the creation and further up. So today we are going to do something which is called the appearance of Varaha. So Vidura is one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. And so he would like to hear the stories of Sri Krishna from Maitreya Muni. So Vidura said, O great sage, what did Swayambhu, the great son of Brahma, do after obtaining his very loving wife? So in the last chapter we had seen that Swayambhu Manu is created by Brahmaji, and then he is split into two by creating his wives, right? So Manu is there and his wife is there, and now they are in the process of generating an entire clan ahead of them. So you saw that he had 2 daughters and 2 sons. So far we have understood this much. Now, O best of the virtuous, the original king, that is the Manu, was a great devotee of Sri Krishna, that is Sri Hari, and thus it is worth hearing of his sublime character and activities. Please describe them. I am very eager to hear. So as you know, Manu was a great devotee of Sri Krishna himself, Sri Hari. And being a devotee of Sri Hari, Vidura, who is asking the question to Maitreya Muni, says to him, can you please tell me how this whole thing proceeded further, so that I also understand how this creation continued. So we will now do verse 4. Persons who hear from the spiritual master with a great labor for a long time must hear from the mouth of the pure devotee about the character and activities of pure devotees. Pure devotees always think within their heart of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, who awards his devotees liberation. Now, what is being mentioned over here is, the context is, there is Maitreya Muni. He has got first-hand knowledge from the Lord himself, correct? So Sri Krishna has given the knowledge to Maitreya Muni. Maitreya Muni in turn has given this knowledge to the devotee called Vidura. So step 1, step 2, step 3. Now what is the personality of Vidura? What is the personality of Maitreya Muni? And how this whole thing works is what we are going to learn. So first we have to understand how this works. The knowledge is what the Guru has. Here the Guru is Maitreya Muni. This knowledge is directly come from the Lord. Alright? Now Sri Krishna has passed on the knowledge to the Guru. So he is called the spiritual master. Now the spiritual master is over here, and below him is the devotee. Now in our material world, it is important that the devotee has to be of a certain character, a certain way in which his character is developed. Alright, so it is going to tell you how this works. Number 1, it is called listening. So listening is very important. What is listening? Shravanam. So Shravan, listening to the words of the Guru. So Vidura is supposed to listen intently. For how long is a period? For a very long time. So it is telling us that if a disciple has come to a Guru, it cannot be that in few weeks time or few months time or a few years time he is going to understand everything. No, he is not going to. It will take him a very, very long time for him to grasp these meanings. So first he has to listen to the words. And this listening takes a much long time must hear from the mouths of the pure devotee. You have to hear the words. First you have to hear the words. If you are going to be busy doing some other work and listening to this, it is as if like a podcast, you know. A podcast you put on and you are maybe cooking or you are driving or you are doing something and you are listening to it. There is no 100% attention over there. So listening very intently is a must. So he says, hearing from the mouth of the pure devotees for a very long time. Long time means like this. I had personally done the book of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, the Gospel, somewhere in 2001. I did it again in 2003 and 4. Then I did it again in 6 and 7. Then I did it again in 9. Then I did it again, and it has been going on and on and on and on and on. Many years ago, I asked my grandmother. I used to sit in front of her when she used to do the Sai Satcharit Parayan. Many years, for many years, that is right from when I was 2-3 years old up till the age of 20, 22 or 21 or 22. So I would sit in front of my grandmother, and my grandmother would take the Sai Baba's Pothi. It was written in Prakrit. Prakrit is not a Marathi language. It is the precursor of Marathi. Marathi is my language, my mother tongue. So she would say it in Prakrit, and then she would translate it. So the question which I asked my grandmother was, this story you didn't tell me last time. See, she would read the entire book, and I would still point out to her that this story you didn't tell me last time. Or this chapter was not there last time. But she would say, this is the same book. I am reading from the same book. The reason why you cannot understand this, that this story was told to you last time, is because you actually never paid attention to it. So I hope you understand what I am trying to say here. You see, if you are listening just now to the words, you are only doing partial listening. You are not listening fully at all. There is no attention for you. You are listening to just a few words. Out of the 1,000 words that I may speak, you are going to pick up only 1 or 2. You are not going to remember everything. So the second time you hear, you will hear some more words. Maybe 5 words you will hear. The third time you pick up, it is going to be 10 or 20 words. So this is the reason why the same stories are getting repeated, but you may not remember them, because human beings are not trained for that. So what you got to do is, you got to listen to it very carefully and listen with an intent of learning something. Then only knowledge will seep inside. So when Vidura is listening to the story, he is supposed to actually listen to everything that is being said. So it goes on for many years. And so he says that there are certain characteristics of a pure devotee, the person who is listening to this story. In this case, you would be the devotee. I would be the spiritual guru who is telling you the story. And you have to always have Sri Krishna in your heart, without which the story will have no meaning. Okay? And the very funny part about life is this. There is no way of knowing anything in this world. When you are going to get the knowledge can never be understood. You know, I was asked this question some a few days ago. You teach so much, but people normally don't, understand anything. So I said it is like this. Some words are going to get lodged in their memory bank somewhere. And when the time is right, that word will come out. So I hope you get the point. These words will somehow flow out when the right time comes. So does it really work like that? Very much so. It works in exactly this fashion. You may not understand anything. You may be listening to the words and you will say, what is the point in listening? This is very funny. So you will say, oh, I don't know why I am listening also. It is the same as, why are you sitting for the satsang? Does anybody know? So the answer is like this. Even in the Bible there is an answer which is very funny. Let me tell you the answer. According to one portion of the Bible, it says that God is very just and kind. Okay, one part says these words. And we understand God is very just, He is very kind, He is very considerate and loving and all that. Then we come to the second part. So in that second part, which is called the Ecclesiastes, I think Ecclesiastes or something like that it's called. I don't know how to pronounce the word. But in that he says, God is very hard-hearted. Okay? He doesn't give the people who are supposed to get it. Are you getting it? There are some people who deserve something, but they don't get it. He is very hard-hearted. He doesn't give everything to the people whom he loves. And then there is another story, the third one. Now this is a story where, God Almighty is talking to his angels, or rather not his angels as such, everybody over there. So all of them are his children. So when he is talking to them, there is one child who believes he says God is very bad and those kind of things. So he calls him and he says, you say that I am like this. Let us try doing something in this world. So God Almighty and this other person say that we will check out what I do. And this other person is also an angel. His name is Satan. Okay, Satan is the angel. So he says to the Satan, let us try this experiment out, whether I am good or bad according to you, on a person, on one individual. And his name is Job. J-O-B, Job. Let us try. So Job is a well-to-do person and he is living nicely. He's got a family and house and children and everything. Everything is going on hunky-dory. And now the test starts. Because now God and the demon, Satan are going to work on the story. So at the first instance, Job loses everything. First he loses his money. He loses his house. He loses his farms. He loses his family. He loses everything. All the cattle, the sheep, this, that, everything. And he is in a place where there is no food to eat also. So he is in a very desperate condition. And so Job says, no, God is very kind still. He is going to take care of me. I am going to be turning out fine. Everything is going to be good. And I know that God is very kind. After some time, he gets very upset. He says to God, what is this, God? You are still not giving me. I am really trying very hard. I have put in so much of effort and yet you are not giving me anything. Why is it so? And he is totally in penury. He is very poor. He doesn't have any money. Nobody to serve him and nothing. And he is very miserable. He's got a lot of diseases and stuff like that. And he is suffering very badly. And he looks up to God and says, God, this is not fair, You are a very bad person. I don't know why you are doing this to me. And he looks up to God and then God appears to him. God appears to him and says, see, whatever that I got to do, I am doing. So before that, I will show you that there are things which we do in this world. And he shows him two creatures. These creatures are very deadly. They are horrible looking creatures. Okay? And there is a lot of, problems with these creatures. They keep on fighting with each other. They're doing all kinds of things. Now, when this kind of a thing happens, and then there is a kind of a peace, but one is bad and one turns out to be good, and things like nothing actually happens over there. So the question which arises in the mind of the, Satan, what is happening over here? I can't understand. What is God trying to tell Job? And Job in turn says, yeah, God, I understand. The biggest question even you will ask, what is this story all about? Does anybody understand all these things? The answer is no, nobody understands. The answer is very simply this. There is a finer reason why this happens. Nobody can actually understand the reasoning why this happens. When he creates good, he creates evil also. And both are supportive of each other. There is always struggle. So if there is a rich man, there is a poor man also. If there is a good person, there is a bad person also. So God has to maintain equilibrium in this world. So he creates this kind of a world. And there is a finer reason why this happens. Where one is going up, the other one pulls him down. Are you getting it? When things are going to go good, the other person will pull you down. And when there are things which are going to go bad, you will find that somebody will pull you up. This is a finer balance. Nobody understands why this works. And then both of them, God and Satan, look at this Job. He seems kneeling down and praying to God, thank you very much, God, for giving me this wonderful life. So, the funny part of the story is this. As much as you want to try to find out why things are going wrong or why you are not getting something, the answers will never be known to you. Because there is a finer thing working somewhere. And nobody has the ability to understand this whole gamut of things, the whole universe that is working. How is it working? What is happening around? Please don't try to bother your head about it. There is a very funny sentence which is being said. When Sri Krishna was asked this question, how many universes are there? You know what Sri Krishna says? I don't know how many universes are there. So Sri Krishna himself is answering that. I only know just now you are standing in front of me, Brahmaji. This one universe I know. But from my different parts of the body, different universes are getting created. There are millions of Brahmajis coming up. Which universe is coming, which universe is going also, I don't know. Of course, as Narayana, I will know because I keep a count over there. But if you ask me just like that, how many universes, I don't know. And when I have to maintain a balance, this is a fantastic equation that I have to work out. It's an equation which is beyond time, beyond anything, beyond space also. So don't try to decipher and say, okay, I have learned how to do marketing. I know how to do projections in my life. I will definitely get this. I learned this formula from this person. Like you may go to all these great leaders and teachers and think that you know the formula for success. No, nobody knows. Because this is never understood by even God also says his words. I myself, don't bother my head about all these things. There is a finer system at play and this is working at a massive scale. So don't even bother trying to find out. Then Satan says, okay, fine. God, I also understand why I am also there. So I am your support function. Got the point? The Satan is also a support function. The goodness is also support function. So this whole universe works in a very beautiful way. So let us not try to decipher the mind of God. Okay? So, so these sages who are there, they are the ones who tell you about it. They teach you. And they say to you that there is a method of learning all this. Spirituality. How to be closer to God. How to be a devotee of God. Don't question it. There is no need of questioning. Because as much as you trying to become successful or making money or trying to find happiness or peace or whatever that you are going to find, it is never going to be there. Why are you struggling? Are you understanding or no? It is like fish may say, no, fish in the water will say, no, I like the birds the way they fly. So one day I want to fly like them. It's not going to happen. No, you can just jump out of the water a little bit, that's it. If you jump out of the water, then you will be dead. You know that, no? So the fish should not bother about trying to fly. He is good in the water. He is good in the water. So you are good at where you are. What are you trying to do? Jump out of the water and fly? Don't bother. It's not going to work. There are the spiritual masters. They teach you these finer things. Learn that and become a devotee. When you become a devotee, you become part of his coterie. And then you don't have to bother so much about it. Then you don't have to stand in front of him like the Satan. You understand? You can be on his side, son of God. Got the point or no? So Job can be son of God, you can be son of God also. Why bother so much? Son means daughter also, by the way. So this is a story from the Bible I just told you. It's a very funny one. But it really has a lot of meaning, and I hope you understood the meaning. That there is struggle in this life, no doubt about it. And there is going to be, you may be the greatest of the kings, you may be Sri Ram yourself, or you could be whoever you want to in this world. There is no way of trying to decipher what is going to happen. So don't bother so much about it. So see, Sukdev Goswami said, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna was pleased to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura because Vidura was very meek and gentle. The sage Maitreya was very pleased with Vidura's words, and being influenced by his spirit, he attempted to speak. Sri Krishna, if you know, had gone to Vidura's house also, right? Now in this case, Sri Krishna is a beloved of Vidura. Vidura loves Sri Krishna a lot. And Sri Krishna obliges him by being with him. He is a devotee of the Lord. So Sri Krishna is very kindly being nice to him. And on the other hand, sage Maitreya was pleased. The only way in which you can gain the divine Lord is when you are meek and gentle. If you are harsh, if you question him, and if you ask him, why are you doing this to me? Or those kind of words which are harsh and which are basically, very argumentative. I am telling you this very clearly. The more argumentative, the more harsh your words are, the more kind of struggle that you have with the Lord, you are not going to get anything. If you want Sri Krishna to put his head in your lap, just be meek and gentle. Just be that kind person, a compassionate, loving being. And don't bother being harsh. You see, please understand this. Think like this. Would God like to put his head on the feet, on the lap of Mirabai or no? She was such a loving soul. It's going to happen. But if there is a shrew, you really think he's going to put his head in that person's lap? I don't think so. No. That person will always be at the feet of the Lord, no doubt about it, being a devotee. But this kind of a behavior is not going to happen. Think about it. If you use your arrogance and if you use your so-called behavior which is despicable with the Lord, He is not going to be with you. You will find that you may have a wifely tantrums with the Lord. Wifey kind of tantrums with the Lord. Well, the Lord is going to be in Tirupati and you will be in Tirumala or somewhere like that, okay? Or you will be in Kolhapur and he will be somewhere else. So Narayana is going to be somewhere else and Lakshmi is going to be somewhere else. Think like that. But whereas, say, take the case of Mirabai. She used to carry that thing in her arm. Sri Krishna was always in her arm. And he will always be sleeping in Vidura's lap. So it's a very strange phenomena. You have to be gentle and kind with the Lord. Don't try to be harsh and arrogant with him. Don't think that he's I love my God a lot. No, doesn't mean anything. You have to be always gentle and meek. Because Vidura was very meek and gentle, Sri Krishna was pleased to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura because Vidura was very meek and gentle. Are you getting this point? In many cases, you will find that his mother, Yashoda Maiya, was like that. In case of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, I will tell you. Ramakrishna Paramahansa, when Vivekananda came to him for the first time, he told him to come and sit in front of him. And very kindly, he put his feet in his lap. Because he was giving the grace. And when he put his feet in the lap of Vivekananda, whose name was Narendra, he got very upset about it. I don't want this. What is this you are doing to me? Second time he tried. Second time when he came. But he was not willing. He was not at all willing to put, Ramakrishna's feet in his lap. Now this is something which we need to understand. If you are an arrogant person, if you have a personality, if you have that, then you are going to be treated like that only. Okay? Many a times he took one, some food and tried to put it in the mouth of Vivekananda. Vivekananda never liked it. But the same he did for another person. For Rakhal, who went on to become Swami Brahmananda, who was a very mild-mannered person. Vivekananda was a very haughty person. Rakhal was a very simple, kind soul. So he would take him and put him on his lap. And then he would take the food and feed him. Like how you would feed a child. So the Lord will feed that person, will put him in his lap also, and he will put his head in that person's lap also and remain like that. If the person is kind and gentle. But if the person is arrogant, then the person is going to be a little far away from that person. So devotion has to be like that. Very kind and gentle. Alright? So, Sage Maitreya was very pleased with Vidura's words and being influenced by the spirit he attempted to speak. Sage Maitreya said to Vidura, after his appearance, Manu, the fine father of mankind, along with his wife Shatrupa, thus addressed the reservoir of Vedic wisdom Brahma with obeisance and folded hands. You are the father of all living entities and the source of their subsistence, because they are all born of you. Please order us how we may be able to render service unto you. So here we are continuing with the story. Now, Vidura is listening to the story from Maitreya Muni. So what is the story going on? Just now, the question asked by Vidura was simply this. can you please tell me what happened after Manu came into the picture? So Manu had his wife, and when Manu was married to his wife, Satrupa, now what happened was this: they both stood in front of Brahmaji and said, you are the father of everything, you are the creator. So please tell us what we are supposed to do, which means show us what we should be doing. O worshipful one, please give us your direction for the execution of the duty within our working capacity so that we can follow it for the fame in life and progress in the next. Now, this couple is standing in front of Brahmaji, and what are they saying? They are saying, can you give us directions? Because you are the master, you are the one who has created us. Show us the direction which we can take in our life. This direction is very important for us. So, what is the end result of the direction? The end result of the direction is this: our next life will be better. The next life is like a progression, not a regression. Progression. So, next life is progression. And we should be known in this world. The legacy of this individual, whom we call as Manu, has to be imprinted in the history of time. So Manu will be remembered forever. Like Adam and Eve, they are remembered forever. Do you remember their sons' names? Some of you may not even know their sons' names. Right? The son's name was Cain and Abel. Now Cain and Abel were the two sons that they had. They lived for 50,000 years, by the way. The parents. 50,000 years. When these two children were born, there was enmity between these two. And Cain is the person who murdered Abel. Got it? So that was the crime. So it happens like that. So you have to be kind and nice. So we won't remember them, but we will remember Adam and Eve. Then we will remember the next person, Noah and his ark. Why? Because he is very important. He changed the entire direction. Likewise, in our world, we will remember, Manu and his wife. Why? Because they are the ones who gave us this entire clans. They had the daughters, who gave birth to demons and gods on one side. We are going to do that in the future. So I hope you understand. Two reasons why you have to always be good. That is first one is so that you can imprint your name in the sands of time, fame. And the second one is called the progress in the next. Lord Brahma said, my dear son, O Lord of the world, I am very pleased with you and I desire all blessings from both you and your wife. You have without reservation surrendered yourself unto me with the heart for my instruction. O hero, your example is quite befitting a son in relationship with his father. This sort of adoration for the superior is required. One who is beyond the limits of envy and one who is sane accepts the order of his father with great delight and executes it to his full capacity. Here you will find that there are two people standing in front of Brahmaji. That is Manu and his wife. And they are very humbly asking him for instructions. Brahmaji looks up to them and says, naturally, you are worthy of my blessing and the instructions that are going to follow. So follow my instructions and do what I am telling you to do. If this is the thing which is followed in this world, listening to the elders listening to your forefathers, that person is following the right path, the path towards Swadharma. So they are very, very much in line with the Swadharma. But if you have a father who has not followed his father, then he has broken the queue. Correct? There is no point in even discussing about such a parent. And if you have a grandfather who has broken the queue, I don't think that grandfather can be bothered about. But let us say you have a history from the past where you are following a certain traditional pathway. And then when your father instructs you to do something, you do those things. It is not to your liking or disliking. Please remember this. There are many people in this world who may not like what they are doing. They hate it. Sometimes they are not at all conducive in their way of working. I have seen a lot of people who want to go away from the main track itself. No, I want to become an artist. I want to do this. I want to do that. No. So, a person has to follow the trait. Now, here in this case, I will tell you, human beings are always very, very strange creatures where when they are told to follow something, they will do something else. What is the justification? Justification is money. I am doing this job because I have to earn a living. According to the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna has said these words. Even if there is no merit in the job that you are doing. What is he saying? Even if there is no merit, there is no money, there is no fame, there is no fortune, nothing is going to come to you. And you are doing your Swadharma. You are coming straight to me because you are the highest of the devotee then. But if you are looking at someone else and saying that, oh, that person is earning so much, this person is earning so much, that one is doing this and that one is doing that. I want to mint money, I want to become rich, I want to build houses, I want to build castles. Okay? Even if you get success in that other field, which you have denied your own and gone into that other, Sri Krishna is very clear in the Bhagavad Gita. He says you are going to suffer. Now when he says these words, you are going to suffer, you may wonder, but the person who is minting money, who is really rich, is not suffering at all. That is why I gave you the story of Job. Do you understand why? I want you to understand that there is a finer reason for it. In the previous verse, the reason was also given. You know what was the reason given? So that we can follow it for fame in this life and progress in the next. Are you getting it? What is the fame? The fame is this. You will be remembered as that person from that particular clan. You are carrying on the name. Now today, look at the King of England. There is a King of England. He has two sons. One son is carrying the name. The other son has gone astray. Isn't it? The other son who has gone astray and he is selling his data to all these Netflix and other companies is not serving mankind. Is he serving mankind? Or is he trying to mint money? Are you getting the point? Whereas this other son who is in England with him, with the king, is going to get crowned as the king in the future. So he will be very much in line with the Swadharma that is there. The king may not be earning a lot of money. He may be a poor person. You don't know actually. Nobody knows this. They are a richer person than the king. But yet, the king is very clear in his words. So, he is doing the job which he has been given by the Lord. Are you getting it? There are certain people who become doctors. Their whole family are surgeons, doctors, this, that and all that. And they become doctors. When they become doctors, they are following the family trait. If they are following the family trait, you will find that some doctors are very successful. This person is not even making any money. He is only going to the hospital over there and he is earning a few hundred rupees or 100,000 rupees. That's it. Whereas other doctors are minting millions, whereas this person is not doing anything. But in the annals of God, where God writes down this whole thing, Chitragupta writes it down, that doctor is going to become very, very good. In the next life, he is going to get a lot of things which the others are not going to get. So it is like that. So all things considered, we should never bother about what we are gaining. Money, this, that and all that. No. You have to follow the path which is very clearly defined by your forefathers. See, I'll read these two verses again for you to understand. My dear son, Lord of the world, that is addressing Manu, I am very pleased with you. And I desire all blessings for you, both you and your wife. You have without reservation, without even saying, why should I do this? I am not like this. My nature is like this. No. You have actually succumbed to whatever that is, your nature is. You're not succumbed to your nature. You have without reservation surrendered yourself unto me with your heart for my instructions. O hero, your example is quite befitting a son in relationship with the father. This sort of adoration for the superior is required as per the Vedic injunctions. You have to follow what your forefathers are doing. One who is beyond the limits of envy and who is sane accepts this order of his father with great delight and executes it to his full capacity. So this person has to execute the order to the full capacity. So we are up to verse 10 we have come, and I think we will stop over here because we have a shortage of time today. So we will continue with the conversation of Brahmaji and Manu tomorrow. So we will stop over here for today. Record.